Hey, Brian Sullivan, founder of Precise Selling, with your weekly video tip. Okay, this week we're going to talk about when you have to make the prospecting phone call. Now, in past videos, we talked about how to get past the gatekeeper, how to treat the gatekeeper. Let's assume we've already done this and we get to a potential decision maker. Now, before I recorded this video, I listened to 25 different cold prospecting calls from one of my clients. Now, some of the salespeople did a fantastic job. Others, there's room for improvement. Now, those who did a fantastic job, there was two things that stood out in these calls. Number one, they acted like they wanted to make the phone call. They weren't apologetic. They weren't sort of apathetic and grumpy, right? They were a little bit, dare I say, perky, but not too perky. So they were very conversational. And in fact, even with the gatekeeper, they asked their name, asked how their day was doing, but again, found the perfect balance. Now, once they got to the decision maker, or who they thought was a decision maker, here's one thing I noticed. 90% of the time, that decision maker wanted to hang up the phone. And the calls that did not go well, here's typically what happened. The prospect would say, nah, I think we're pretty good right now. Why don't you send me some information? Well, think about the average or below average sales rep. At this point, they say, oh, okay, do you have an email I can get? And the call is over. You know what the great ones did? The great ones said, great, no problem. I appreciate you taking the call. Hey, before I go, a quick question. So you'd mentioned your current supplier. Which one is that? Well, it's ABC. Really? Okay. Hey, I'm curious, the technology that you are using now, is it blank, blank, blank? Or is it solving this, this, this? And what I find is that first or second question after you thought you were being dissed, that means you're in the game. So this week's lesson, don't believe them when they say, nope, not interested, we're done. Instead, I want you to say, the whistle just blew, the game is on, it's time for you now to ask that next question, which means you better prepare your questions. And those are typically who you're currently using. Have you looked at some of the latest technology or solutions on the market? What's working? What's not? Be prepared. Don't hang up the phone too early. You know why? Because those prospects need what you are selling. You owe it to them to get your solution in their hands. So, hope you enjoyed this week's tip. We'll see you next week.